morning and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. It is Wednesday for a Wacky and Weird News Wednesday. That's right, we've got all of the weird and wacky things that are going on in the world so that you can have some, I guess we can solve the mysteries of our planet. I don't know, to experience the reality we live in. On the first and only international game show, Before Coffee, a father and daughter news podcast where we look for stories right before the show starts. We just got coffee in our bodies and we're learning to speak and read live on stream. Let's get into those wacky headlines and spin that segue wheel. Today on Wacky and Weird Wednesday. Navy in the UK to spend £200,000 to redesign women's uniform over inappropriately placed buttons. And German tourist wins payout after losing the 6 a.m. Sunbed Wars.
Yikes. And from the United States on Weird Wednesday, it's all animal Weird Wednesday for me. We have bees in the news. A lady releases bees onto cops to save her friend from eviction, and a male coyote swims to Alcatraz.
He had created a fake noble. The teacher Florent Montclair was dismissed from the University of Besançon.
Noble. A Taiwanese woman is arrested at Bangkok airport with 300 tortoises strapped to her body, and plus other animals who have hitched rides.
In my culture news, Bring Me the Horizon and Eric Clapton struck by objects thrown by audience members at two different events. What's going on with crowds?
They're nuts. Well, I don't know, but if it's if there's any contest today, but it's National Frog Jumping Day. That's right, it's National Frog Jumping Day. The frogs are out. I've almost stepped on about 10 toads already this spring. It is May 13th, 2026 on Before Coffee.
Alright, let's start the music. And also I skipped one story, which is also about an animal, but it's like so short. I'll just talk about it then.
Oh, okay.
Capybara has been escaped for 7 weeks and nobody knows where it's gone.
Capybara. It's got a great name and it looks like it shouldn't be a real animal. It really doesn't.
I mean, it just looks like
a guinea pig. It should not be a real animal, like it wasn't finished. Yeah, like they left something out. They leave out an animal. They're built near that or something. They took a break and forgot where they were.
Let's spin our segue wheel.
Looks like a horse that didn't quite finish or something. Let's make a
looks like
horse.
A guinea pig. It's just a bigger guinea pig.
Guinea pig? Okay. Totally harmless thing too, right? It isn't an attack yet.
Our first segue is a non sequitur. No, they don't even get usually attacked by anything. They're very chill.
No, they're harmless. Yeah. What did we get? Sorry, I was yapping again.
Non sequitur.
Okay.
The first story is coming out of the UK, where they have to spend a lot of money to redesign a uniform because I guess they didn't have a woman in the room, or I'm sure the story will tell us how this happened. This is from Alexandra Snow on The Independent. The Royal Navy will reportedly spend up to £200,000 to redesign uniforms for female sailors due to inappropriately placed buttons. An internal document seen by the Times indicates that number 1 jacket worn by the Princess Royal at ceremonial events will be altered at the Crown's expense, meaning taxpayers will bear no cost. Okay, so that's good. The current uniform features 4 rows of 2 buttons. Oh, I see what's going on here. 4 rows of 2 buttons. The height is set at breast level, but the new design will reposition all 8 buttons lower down, the newspaper reported. Probably because it looks like nipples. I'm looking at it now. In the top row of buttons is almost exactly where your nipple would be. So yeah, just...
It's all men are juvenile delinquents, so you can't forget.
Either a man designed this, or there was no woman in the room, or I have no idea. I mean, I'm not offended by nipples. And maybe it was a man that was even insulted. Oh my god, those buttons look nipples. I'm insulted. Redesign the whole thing. I have no idea. I don't mind nipples, but other people do think they're inappropriate. Nipples, how inappropriate. It's almost like we all have seen a nipple in our life.
Hey, you'll get me to salute more, I'll tell you that. Hey. Whoa.
The current uniform feature. Oh yeah, we're talking about that. The Times said Royal Navy temporary memorandum sent to the whole of the fleet said the position of the top 2 decorative buttons on the older design of the female officer's #1 jacket are deemed to be inappropriately placed. We can't remind people that there's nipples under that clothes. The Royal Navy spokesperson said the Navy is both a modern organization which continually adapts, as hugely proud of our history. The question is, I want to know what the male jackets look like. And if they also have buttons that are directly placed where male and men's nipples are, what's the problem? It's because the button nipples are on actual breasts. Is that the problem here? This change will be brought on over several years. Addresses issues raised by serving personnel regarding the fit of female officer jackets and is a positive step for women in the Navy while balancing operational and financial factors. Originally, I thought the problem with the buttons is that they didn't button enough. And then it actually caught, like, people's breasts were too big, and then they would pop a button. But this is a whole different thing than I expected. The cost of the new jacket will be offset by a reduction in the number of uniforms issued. The Times said that more than 950 serving female officers will be issued the new uniform in the coming year. Non-commissioned officers, such as petty officers and warrant officers, only have 3 rows of buttons and are not affected. So,
bullshit. Stupid.
I mean, just looking at this, it doesn't make any sense, right? Because the first 3 rows of the buttons from the bottom up, right? They're in line completely. And then when you get to that 4th row of button for this uniform, they're like in a Y shape. So they're not in line, and they're in a Y shape. So that they are actually on, you know what I mean? Like, breasts go kind of out. They're Y shaped. They're not straight in, usually. So it's just like, whoever designed this knew what they were doing, in my opinion. And I guess they got away with it long enough. And maybe the women who are wearing the jacket felt sexualized for some reason. I don't know. I need more information, but they're not going to give it to me. So I'm just hypothetically this whole thing.
This is the British Navy?
Yes, this is the British Royal Navy.
Okay, so the American sailor uniforms, they look like the dress uniforms, the white dress uniforms, they all look like they belong in a Cracker Jack box, right? In the Marines, we call them the good humor man, the ice cream man. I mean, that's a running joke. I'll have some Rocky Road, you know, order some ice cream. That's always a good one. But again, and their dungarees, the ones that work uniforms, they always had these square pockets in the front that you can't even use for anything, right?
Yeah.
There's these stupid square pockets. You can't put your hands in them. And the stupid, I mean, I'm going to call them stupid, but you see these sailors, I don't know if they still have these, but they have their hands in those pockets anyway. You look stupid with your hands in those pockets. You look like an idiot. It's like, hey, Marines can't put their hands in their pockets, and the Navy goes out of their way to put their hands in their pockets. Even though they're trying to prevent that hands in pockets thing with the uniform. So that's the American Navy. Now, the British Navy, I have no idea what their problem is. But you don't wear your dress uniform all that often anyway, so who cares? You never wear the damn thing. You wear it for ceremonies and parades, and you polish it and iron it, and you never fucking wear it. Who cares? What a waste of time. Your job is to defend your country against foreign enemies and shit.
Yet again,
not fucking look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only good about this is that the royal family is paying for it. So, yay! Less money for the royal family because they have to pay for the redesign.
Yeah. And they were probably the ones that got turned on by it in the first place, bunch of pervs. Anyway.
All right, my next story is coming out of Germany. Now, if you don't know anything about German stereotypes, there's a stereotype about Germans that I'm sure this happens in other cultures too, but it's specifically a German stereotype that you know a German's there because they put a towel on a sunbed. you know,
Right.
because that's my sunbed. I'm gonna go out, 6 a.m., put my towel on a sunbed, and then go sleep or go get breakfast, and then come out, and then my sunbed's gonna be waiting for me because I've already
Sounds like a personal
put my
experience.
unofficial marker saying this is mine. You can't sit here. Anyways,
Is this a
this
personal
German has
experience?
one. No, this is just stereotype. I'm repeating a stereotype. I've never seen it because I don't think I've ever been to like a place with a bunch of sunbeds for German tourists to
German.
Yeah, I know here in the Netherlands, the joke is that, there's a bunch of German tourists because they like to dig a hole in the sand, then put their towel in that hole. That's what Germans like to do. That's a stereotype here for the beach by the Hague. Scheveningen. That's where they do it there. But anyways,
Okay.
I've never seen this.
Right
I've only
on.
heard
I
about the
guess that's
stereotype,
right.
but I'm just explaining it for anybody who doesn't know German stereotypes. But this person actually won their Sunbed War, I guess their Sunbed War. They got a payout even. It's from £1,000,000 on the Independent. A German tourist has won a payout of £850 after he was unable to secure a sun lounger at his holiday resort due to others reserving them with pool towels. The unidentified man, who was on holiday in Greece in 24, said he had to wake up at 6 a.m. and spend 20 minutes to find a sun lounger for his family of 4. After the holiday, he sued his tour operator for allowing guests to reserve sun loungers with their towels, arguing that it happened so often that loungers were unusable, according to the BBC. Like, there's nobody even... Well, you can also... I know this is a crazy concept for this guy. You can also take the towel, throw it away, and say, I didn't see any towel. I know it's not honorable to do that, but you can do it.
And put it back. Wipe your butt with it and put it back. There you go. There's your towel. What's that brown
He
stain?
said his children were forced to lie on the floor because of this, because of your pride. I'm just saying, right? If you're like, fuck that, there's nobody sitting on any of these sun loungers. There's nobody here. Fuck all these 4 towels. Throw them in a pile somewhere and put my kids on them. That's what he could have done, but instead he was like,
there's a little sign on there.
possibly lift the towel off the seat. It's a marker. That's somebody
Unless there's a
sitting
little
there.
sign that says reserved. There's a little sign
Yeah.
that says reserved. You might have to worry about that. We went to
Yeah,
Greece.
no,
we
there
didn't care
isn't.
about that crap. We just grabbed the
But
space we could.
that's what I'm
right?
saying. This is their own they made a problem, right? If I see a purse on a chair and there's nobody there, and I wait 5 minutes and nobody comes, or I wait 10 minutes and nobody comes to stay on that chair, I'm gonna take that purse. Say, I think somebody left their purse behind. Yeah, that as well. Hey, I think somebody left their purse behind. I'm gonna sit on that chair, okay? So if you're sitting there for 10 minutes and nobody ever comes to sit on a sun lounger, oh, somebody must have left their towel out. That's what I would do. But this guy is like, well, under German rules, it means somebody's marking that spot, so I can't do anything about it. It's like, okay, and whatever. Anyways, he won money for this, so good for him. He got £850. The man told the court, here's his side of the story. The man told the court that the tour operator failed to enforce the resort's ban on reserving loungers with a towel, stating that the guests who were doing so were not confronted. So neither the business or him or anybody was like, hey, you can't do that. We don't care about your towels. What they should have had is a pool boy or somebody walking around picking up towels saying, oh, some people left their towels behind. And that would have probably solved this, right? At the district court in Hanover, judges ruled in his favor and said that a holiday maker was entitled to a larger refund on the package family holiday as it had been defective. This holiday was defective because his children had to sit on the pool floor instead of the actual seat, the sun loungers. Well, judges said the travel company did not run the hotel. It could not ensure every hotel guest had access to a sun lounger throughout the day. The operator was obliged to ensure there was a structure in place to allow for a reasonable amount of loungers for guests. Yeah, maybe next time the tour operator can just send somebody to run around to pick up people's towels. He had initially paid out a refund of €350 or £302, yet judges in Hanover ruled the family was entitled to a larger refund of 986.70 euros or 852.89 pounds. The man had initially paid 7,000 euros for this holiday. I can't even imagine spending that much money on one thing.
Well,
I don't think I've ever spent that much money on... Oh, that's not true. That's not true. I've spent that much money on tuition. No, I just mean like...
7,000?
I personally cannot imagine on my bank account it says minus 7,000 out of my bank account, like in one payment. That's what I'm trying to say. I've never paid that much money for one thing, like in my bank account, which says minus 7,000. I think my tuition, which was 8,000 at some point.
Let's not talk about this.
It was semester and semester, so it was fourth. I think it was like 2,000 the first payment, and the 6,000 the next one. So I've never. Yeah, that's. Anyways, for the holiday on the Greek island of Kos. So they went to that Greek island of Kos for 7,000 euros. Waking up early in the morning to reserve a lounger is a common practice in many European holiday resorts, often dubbed as the Sunbed Wars. A video went viral 2 years ago as holidaymakers at Hotels Villa Ramona in Salou were filmed racing to reserve pool loungers before breakfast. Sunbed Wars escalated in Calpe, Spain in July 24, when tourists were warned not to reserve a lounger on the beach in early morning or risk a fine. But they made a lot of money that day. The seaside town in Costa Blanca dissuaded tourists from setting up their loungers at a sunrise, with fines up to 250 euros or 215 pounds to halt Sunbed Wars in peak season. I think that is the case. I think that this is the case. They buy a sunbed, and then I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea. I've never done this.
You can't bring your own and just set it up yourself?
I guess not. But a lot of these people are going on holiday to a place, right? So you're like going on a plane. You're not really bringing a chair with you. You know?
I mean, at beach in Greece, that island went to Greece. They had loungers that you could reserve, did they not? I don't remember. But they had some chairs out there.
Maybe that's the idea too. They also don't want people rushing to get sun loungers and like, you know, fighting and punching each other just to get a sun lounger out of the rental box. Yeah, I don't know. I've never seen this, but I'm sure if you work at a beach, you've probably seen it every year. And it's not fun. It does not sound fun every morning. All right, here comes the idiot squad. They're all going to run around like there's not enough beach. Though I guess a lot of European beaches do get very full of human bodies.
As a person who grew up in the Midwest, and you know, the beaches we had were lakes, and you know, never really seen the ocean until I was in my 20s. I don't see the attraction. I lived in Ocean City, and the beach was literally right down the road, a couple of blocks away. I could walk there, ride my bike. I very rarely went. The only time I really went was when I ride my bike. There was nobody on the boardwalk at the beach because of the winter. But what's the big fucking attraction? It's just water. Just water, man. You can sit in a chair anywhere. You can literally sit in a chair just about anywhere, as long as it's not moving, or it's, you know, even if it's not flat, you can sit in a chair. I am so confused why this is a big thing. Sitting in a chair. You can't bring your own chair. Baffled. I'm baffled by this. I'm totally baffled by this whole situation.
And I agree with you, because I'm definitely, if you want to put me in a box, I'm like an inland water person, right? I grew up next to a river. I also went to a lot of lakes. Whenever we went on holiday to Wisconsin, right? Always going to a lake. When we went to holiday New Mexico, always going to a creek or a river. You know, I've never been an ocean person either. And I think it's scary. I think the ocean's scary. And the only thing I can see that's even good about a beach is that the hot sand is really nice. But these people aren't laying on the hot sand. They're laying on a towel on a sunbed. So I don't know.
Places. No doubt they're cool places. I'm not saying that they're awful or anything. It's just I'm over it in about 15 minutes. I'm at the beach for 15 minutes. I was like, well, that's all they got, you know? Tide goes out, tide comes in. Tide goes out, tide goes. Wow, amazing. It just keeps happening. Oh well, let's go see it on TV. You know, just
yeah. I mean, if you're doing water sports, you probably don't even have a sunbed, right? So yeah, people who are actually out on the ocean, they're not going to have this problem either. This is a very specific people going to a beach, laying on a bed for an hour, I guess, getting a sunburn, and then going home. I don't know. I don't know any of these people, so I don't know what to ask.
Great place to meditate, but you can't meditate with people screaming all around you and frisbees hitting you in the head. You can't do that. So, best time would be real early when nobody's there, or real late. Well, all the drunks are there at night. That's not a good plan. I don't know what's going to happen when drunks take a wild swing at you, right? Please don't take a wild swing at me. Anyway,
I think this is specifically a poolside thing as well, right? Both sides sunbed. So.
Right. Oh, and my non sequitur, by the way, is a while ago. This is a very, very not well known fact in history, but that's exactly how Germany invaded the Sudetenland back in the 1930s. They put their towel over there in Czechoslovakia, and when nobody was looking, they moved the towel in. Bam! We got the Sudetenland. It's ours. So yeah, that's
our towel was here. Look, our towel was right there. I swear.
Classic strategic German move. So they've been doing this since maybe before Hitler, but Hitler definitely used the towel plan to annex the Sudetenland. So there you go. Thank you very much. Czechoslovakia mine, he said. I got a towel.
Mixed metaphor.
The towel is down. Okay, mixed metaphor about coyotes, and maybe there was a road runner out there on the island he was trying to catch. But here's the story. AP News. Male coyote swims from Angel Island to Alcatraz, which is both off the coast of San Francisco. This is Janie Haar. A lone coyote stunned biologists and others when it paddled its way through remote Alcatraz Island early this year, a former federal prison in the San Francisco Bay, surrounded by swift, choppy waters, notorious for thwarting prisoners' escapes. At the time, biologists guessed the coyote swam from San Francisco. They guessed he swam from San Francisco. That's just a guess. They didn't have a tracking device on him, which is a little over 1 mile from the fortress, but it turns out the male coyote actually made it an even longer swim from nearby Angel Island, which is 2 miles away. Our working assumption was that the coyote made the swim from San Francisco because it's a significantly shorter distance. We couldn't help but being impressed by his accomplishment in making it to Alcatraz, National Park Service wildlife ecologist Bill Merkel said at a news conference Monday. Alcatraz coyote wasn't a city boy after all. Coyotes are known to be resilient and adaptable, and he certainly demonstrated those qualities. Camilla Fox, founder and executive director of the nonprofit Project Coyote, said the coyote likely departed its home base in search of a mate or new territory to defend. She said coyotes, like wolves, do swim, although it is incredibly rare for humans to spot one doing so. We have never, ever heard such a story of a coyote making such a long journey in a pretty challenging ocean current. Maybe he caught a ride. We're going to do stories about smuggling animals today. Maybe he just caught a ride in a boat, right? Never know. Video from early January shows a coyote paddling from the chilly San Francisco Bay. Okay, well, maybe he caught a ride halfway there. Video from January shows a coyote paddling in the chilly San Francisco Bay and is struggling to get onto the rocky island. It was followed by a January 24 visitor sighting and photographs by Rebecca Husson, who was in town for a cousin's wedding. Wait, what town? Her cousin's getting married at what, Alcatraz? I'm so confused. Yeah. They were taking the morning tour. Okay, they were just taking the tour. All right. She and her family were surprised to spot the coyote on their morning tour of Alcatraz Island. That's right. You can be a tourist and you can pay money, take a ferry out to the island and go, hey, look at all these people, prisoners were kept in these awful conditions. Of course, the reason Alcatraz has been condemned is because the contractor who, I don't know if this is generally known, the contractor Alcatraz used salt water to mix his mortar, and you can't do that. It kind of degrades it. Putting salt in your concrete, morons. Anyway, he looked like a drowned rat when he ended up on the island. When he saw him, he looked healthy. And still, the Romans learned this, by the way. You can't put salt water in mortar. They're the ones that invented it. Anyway, back to his story. He looked down at a drowned rat when he ended up on an island, and when he saw him, he looked healthy and so beautiful. He looked like he'd been eating well. Well, there's probably plenty of food out there, right? Lots of rabbits and whatnot.
For now, anyways.
He told the Associated Press.
He's going to eat all of it.
Yeah,
He's going to eat the whole island.
I think dogs are pretty smart. Dogs don't eat when they're not hungry. They just don't, right? They just eat when it's necessary. Biologists found fresh coyote tracks in scat, which is another name for poop, which they sent to the University of California. I like how they got to invent a scientific word for shit. Isn't that funny? I love it, man. You gotta gonna call it something besides what it is to confuse people. Okay. Shit wasn't a good enough word. I just love how we use that word. Everybody says shit. Children, 2 years old, that's one of the first words they learn. Anyway, biologists found fresh coyote tracks in scat. They found a guy they found a jazz singer on the trail, and he was scatting. That's what they found. They didn't find any shit. They found a jazz musician. Anyway, which they sent to the University of California, Davis, for DNA analysis. Those were stunned to learn the swimmer was part of a coyote population on Angel Island. Maybe they just kicked him out. Maybe he just ate too much. The Park Service was prepared to capture and relocate the coyote because the Alcatraz role in a seabird nesting habitat, but he has never again been spotted or caught on recording devices, and there's no evidence the coyote is still on the island. Okay. Alcatraz Island became a federal prison in the 1930s, designed to house the worst criminals, but it closed in the 1960s because its remoteness made it costly to operate. That's not why it closed. It closed because the building was falling apart. Haha, you dummies. Still, 36 men attempted 14 separate escapes from Alcatraz. Nearly all were caught and didn't survive the cold. Swift current. In 1973, the island reopened as a park. Angel Island is also a state park that once served as a processing detention center where Chinese and other unwanted immigrants. Oh my God, they're Chinese. They're gonna what they're gonna do? Make fortune cookies or something. I don't know what the fuck they're afraid of Chinese for. It wasn't easy for coyotes to colonize Angel Island, but they persevered. And Fox at Project Coyote said she asked that visitors to the island and the other open spaces be mindful and not to disturb coyotes in their dens, given that's currently pup season. Okay, we're worried about the birds, but not the coyote pups on Alcatraz. But again, all nature is just going to take care of it, whether we interfere or not. And here we are, humans, going, oh my God, the coyote's going to kill something for food. We got to take it, move it somewhere. Nah, leave it be. Shit. If the thing gets overpopulated by coyotes, then you got a problem. Up until then, I ain't worried about it. But there's your story, your first story. A little bit longer than I thought it was going to be because I kept interrupting it with my stupidity. But there it is.
By your just
More
complete
animal stories to follow.
the questions that this story brings up. It really sounds like they're a coyote out of water in an abandoned prison.
Yes.
So fun to make a metaphor into a literal thing instead, like a metaphorical saying. It's no, literally, it's a coyote out of water in a foreign prison, or not in an abandoned prison.
An anonymous flightless bird on the island. Here's your story to follow up. An anonymous flightless bird on the island was quoted as saying, "Mimi, Mimi," boom, and he disappeared. All right, let's talk about bees. We're going to talk about more creatures that, humans are interfering with constantly. TheGuardian.com has a story about the bees. Lady set bees loose on the cops. The headline says, she's opening the bees. Richard Looscombe has the story. A beekeeper has been jailed for 6 months after she set swarms of her insects on sheriff's deputies attempting to carry out an eviction at her friend's house. Rebecca Woods insisted that she only released her truckload of hives to allow the bees to enjoy the lovely flowering landscape near the home of elderly friend and cancer patient. That's right. Prove I did it maliciously. I guess they did prove it. But a district court in Springfield, Massachusetts heard that Woods, 59, admitted under questioning she was trying to save him from eviction by freeing the bees. I don't think it worked. In the presence of the deputies who had shown up to serve papers. If you're old and you're living in a house and you've been paying for this property taxes all your life and they just try to evict you for property taxes, that is disgusting. That is disgusting. If you're old, you shouldn't even have to pay property taxes, especially if you've been paying for that house your entire life. It's bullshit, folks. It's bullshit. We get to take your home and throw you out because of taxes. Bull fucking shit. Several officers were stung on their heads and faces. Sorry, guys. And one required hospital treatment, the New York Times reported. Additionally, about 1,000 of the Woods bees died during the encounter, many of them crushed when several hives toppled, and she wrestled with deputies trying to arrest her, and others because female honeybees die after delivering their sting. This was unlike anything our team has ever experienced, said Nick Kochi, the Hampton County Sheriff and scumbag trying to evict an old man, said of the incident, which was captured on video, released by the office and posted on YouTube by Mass Live. You won't be evicting anybody. You'll be careful next time, won't you? Ha ha. Trying to evict old men. Oh, you don't deserve to live here. He's old. That piece of land is very valuable. It needs to be condemned and sold for pennies on the dollar instead. Just stupid. It's foolish. All you're doing, all the police are, again, the police are security forces for rich people. You never see Rudy Giuliani treated like this. No, you won't. You won't. In the footage, several deputies are heard shouting, "Hey," at Woods, and one says, "She's opening the bees." One deputy is seen frantically waving his arms, trying to shoot the insects away. That don't work, pal. Just a little hint. Bees don't fucking care. You wave at them, they just get madder. Woods, who put on beekeeper's suit during the incident, had driven up to the property while the hives stacked on a trailer, pulled up by her blue SUV and proceeded to lift the lids on a number of them. During the ensuing tussle, she was thrown to the ground by two deputies and arrested by a large swarm of bees as a large swarm of bees flew around the property's front yard. The court heard that Woods was told during the encounter that some deputies were allergic to bees, and she replied, "Oh, you're allergic? Good." Oh, that didn't help her case. Mary Saldarelli, Woods' lawyer, told the Times that her client's Woods were a reaction to having your face put down on the pavement and being shoved and kept there. There you go. You're shoving my face in the dirt. Fuck you. That's exactly what I would say. Oh, please shove my face in the dirt some more. I enjoy this. Yeah, that's a normal person's reaction. Her reason for going to the property, Saldarelli added, was that Woods had experienced several evictions herself and wanted to protect people from predatory lenders who charge exorbitant rates should be the word, on non-mainstream mortgages. Her friend was a man in his 80s who was undergoing cancer treatment, she said, and had gone to a local library to see about filing a motion to halt the eviction while Woods drove the bees to his house. It was really just a sincere hope that he would not suffer the humiliation and devastation of going through the eviction, losing your home, Saldarelli said. According to the Times, the jury acquitted Woods of 7 felonies, but convicted her guilty of 4 misdemeanor counts of assault and battery, and 2 counts of reckless assault. Saldarelli said her client would serve another 2 weeks in the jail because she had been held without bail since her arrest in a motel room in Tennessee during a lengthy extradition process to Massachusetts. Woods, she said, maintained her innocence and has filed an appeal. She is not acquiescing in any way, shape, or form, to the lawyer said. Her friend, meanwhile, has lost his home in Long Meadow, about 5 miles south of Springfield. Woods ultimately failed in her attempt to stop the eviction, which is a matter determined by courts, not the sheriff's office, Kochi said in a statement. He added, "We just don't show up to enforce an order. We try to help people through difficult situations. That commitment doesn't change even in the face of something like this." Okay, empty words don't mean shit. We're helping people through the situation. Bullshit. You're evicting them out of their home. That's not helping people out of their situation. You're just... The police, again, if we understand why police were created in the first place, was to round up slaves. State police were never a thing.
In the U.S. anyways, yeah.
Sheriffs. Again, sheriffs, state police, right, again, are slaveholders' police. Sheriff's offices our sheriff is your local law enforcement. They're to enforce like local bonds, that kind of thing. This arresting people and giving out tickets, that shit has just been added to their duties. They've just been added to their duties. Evicting people is added to their duties, to sheriff's duties. All this stuff is put on their back. It's really
weird shit.
Treating mental patients. Somebody's having a mental breakdown. You call these idiots, they're untrained, and they shoot them. So these are untrained morons for the most part. They get minimum training. I'm not denigrating police, but a lot of these
people's guard dogs,
security force,
landowners,
security forces, rich people. You will never see a rich person march like this. You'll never see, oh, we got to take all your stuff and put it on a sidewalk. No, they can't. They can't do that because rich people have lawyers. Lawyers stand in the way. Poor people, you're just screwed. And they don't care. They make everything your expense. All this stuff that everybody's going through, end up charging you for it, and you have no money. That's why you got evicted. It's the stupidest system in the world, and it only favors one side. Everybody else is just waiting for rich people to hand them something. This is a terrible country you live in right now. Hey, there's your fun little story. We must evict that 80-year-old man of that house that nobody wants for any reason, you know, just because property taxes or whatever, you know.
Yeah. I could get paid more from somebody who's not about to die tomorrow. Okay. In the yard of hope, in the front yard of hope, she's the bee's knees.
Nice. The bee's knees.
That's a pun, too.
Yeah, you worked on a 19, even though I wasn't on the soundboard. You worked in a nice 1920s
saying
colloquialism of the 20s. You're the bee's knees. 23 skidoo, you know, or whatever the hell I said back in the roaring 20s. Well, it is the roaring 20s, right? It's the roaring 20s now. All right.
Okay, let's roll our next segue.
The roaring 20s. We're almost to the 30s. You realize that?
Mm-hmm.
It's less than 4 years. It's like 3.5 years. We'll be in the 2030s.
I know you didn't get a limerick yesterday, but you can make up for it today because it's limerick time.
Oh, I did write one though. I did write a limerick yesterday.
That's true.
Yep.
I have 2 stories here. One story is about a capybara escape, and it's very short. So maybe you write that one first while I read my first story. Whoa. You don't even need the details of that. Just write a funny capybara limerick. But my first story is actually coming out of France, where a teacher has given himself a fake Nobel Prize, and he's been, I guess, fired for it. Let's read the whole story. Every time I go back to this story, it's untranslated from English, and it's in French. I don't know why it does that. I can't read French. I mean, I can read it, but I don't know what it says. Florent Monteclair, a teacher-researcher in the University of Besançon, is suspected of having invented the gold medal of philology, presented as the equivalent of a Nobel Prize, and of having falsified a diploma. This is by Manon Aublon on Le Parisien. Every time I try to speak French, it just sounds like really bad Spanish. It is an unbelievable story worth a movie script, commented the public prosecutor of Montbéliard, Paul-Edouard Lalouse. There I go, I started doing Spanish in my brain. This happened last February. Florent Monteclair, a lecturer and researcher at the University of Besançon, suspected of having invented the gold medal of philology, presented as the equivalent of a Nobel Prize, is now banned from working in higher education due to a disciplinary sanction. The University Deputy Director of Communications, Mathilde Derhustru, told Le Parisien on Thursday, which would have been last Thursday, which would have been, what, the 8th, I think, of May? I don't know. I don't got a calendar open. Wait, actually, I do have a calendar open. The 7th of May. Yeah, I have my UN observances calendar open. The 7th of May, confirming information published by the daily newspaper L'Est Républicain. The 55-year-old emeritus teacher, a specialist in Jules Verne and 19th century fantasy literature, who taught literature at Marie and Louis Pasteur University of Besançon, is accused of having created Besançon. Yeah, I don't know how to. It's like a C with a little tail. I don't know how to pronounce that letter. I think it's like soft C instead of hard C. I think that's the difference. Of having created a prize from scratch, the gold medal of philology, which he then awarded himself. I've invented an award, and I give it to myself. I'm the best. Also having claimed to have obtained a non-existent doctorate from a dubious American university. This guy's like, I'm a doctor. Yep, you need to pay me more. Wait a minute, you're not even from a real university. A real hoax on an international scale, according to the public prosecutor, which has led to Florent Monteclair being the subject of a preliminary investigation, opened in early February by the Montbéliard prosecutor's office. 4. Forgery and use of forged private documents, usurpation of a title, diploma, or quality, and fraud. According to Paul Edouard Lalios, the public prosecutor of Montbéliard, the gold medal in philology is nothing more than a fabrication by Mr. Florent Montclair. It is an unbelievable story, worthy of a movie script, he added. While Florent Montclair has not been formally charged, at this stage the public prosecutor is clearly considered criminal proceedings, he stated. Wow. And there's also like a video of this guy this is from February 24th. There's a video of this guy giving himself the award. He's like doing a little TED talk. He's talking about the award. This award is the awesomest, super awesome award of all time. And that's why today I'm giving it to myself. Oh, that's crazy. That's wild. Anyways, do you have a limerick ready, perchance? Well, both of these stories are really short. It's not, so it's like, these are not the best stories to roll a limerick on, sadly. In my shorter section today.
You gotta read them slower.
There's nothing to read slow. There's barely any story. They're both like 1 minute long.
No, you read slower, you go, the, and then you pause, and then the next word.
I don't want to hear that from you.
A teacher from Besançon, France, has a secret surprise in his pants. He has a special prize, and it's not Nobel size. And Diaper Donnie never had a chance. As you know, of course, Diaper Donnie got the fake
Famous
Nobel
for giving himself
Prize
awards. Yeah. You don't need to give me that award so I can feel good about myself, because nobody's told me I did a good job today.
You with the Nobel Prize. He would play the Nobel Prize. Thanks for getting rid of that asshole in Venezuela. Here's my Nobel Prize. And the Nobel Committee said, you can't do that. You can't give him that.
Yeah, that's not allowed.
Anyway, she should have done it anyway, because she won the election and she still isn't in power. What the hell does she give her award away for? Anyway, that's next story. Capybara. What the hell rhymes with that?
Something, you can say something sorry. Yeah, just seeing the double word. I don't know. Okay, so I just heard about this. I don't know if I can probably read another story about this if there is another story about this. But supposedly for 7 weeks, a capybara has gone missing in the UK. This is from Indy Almroth, right? On the BBC. Bite marks found on river plants are a match with a missing capybara that escaped from captivity 7 weeks ago. 11-month-old Samba has been on the loose from Marwell Zoo near Winchester in Hampshire since the 17th of March. Her disappearance has attracted interest from around the world. I'm going to click that link and see what it says. And Marwell Wildlife said that the latest clue from a river bailiff who spotted an animal eating in dense riverside vegetation on the 23rd of April. The zoo said the bite marks and height matched the large rodent's eating behavior and that it was hopeful this may have been Samba. However, it is said that despite following up several reported sightings, the last one confirmed as Samba was in the Colden Common area on the 22nd of March. The zoo said its teams were continuing to carry on regular searches, focusing on areas where Samba is most likely to be, particularly along the waterways and dense vegetation. Don't forget, capybaras can swim. They can swim for a long time, have all that extra fat on their bodies. It added that the thermal drones and camera traps, including one near the water of High Bridge Road, where the most recent possible sighting of Samba had been reported on the 6th of May, were also being used. Last month, 2 of the camera traps being used in search for Samba, placed on private land, were stolen. Well, that's not helpful. The team said they were incredibly thankful to everyone who has taken time to contact us and share information. While each report has been carefully investigated, we have not yet been able to confirm a location, the team said. It added, we received many possible sightings, but without photos or video, it's been difficult to confirm whether these reports are Samba or Montauk deer, which can look very similar. Can they? What the hell's a Montauk deer look like? Never. Images. If you think this deer and a capybara look the same, you need to get your eyes checked. I get what they're saying. They're very small, right? They're very small.
It's the world's largest
They're not very tall.
rodent.
Yeah, but yeah, one of them has very long legs. The other, I guess if it's crouching down, maybe you can't see its very long legs. I don't know. Like, I guess if you see it from behind, like you only see its butt, you're like, hey, there's a capybara, but it has a tail. Capybaras don't have a tail. So, I don't know. Get your eyes checked. 5 days after her escape, Samba was seen resting in the sunshine at the side of the river near the zoo by a dog walker who captured phone footage as she jumped in the water and swam off. Samba and her sister Tango arrived at the zoo on the 6th. Oh, so they got the capybaras in the zoo the 16th of March, and days later they escaped. So it sounds like their enclosures weren't very well maintained, or they didn't make the right enclosure for a capybara. They were being transferred from Suffolk, but both escaped the following day. What about Tango? Oh, Tango was found close to the pair's temporary enclosure at the zoo and was swiftly retrieved, but her sibling, described as the more adventurous of the pair, has been at large ever since. Marwell Wildlife added Tango has been enjoying the warmer weather, often seen relaxing in the sun and napping in her hay. And then there's an AI-generated photo of a capybara riding a bike, because that must have been the way they got them. That must be what they're doing. They're just riding a bike. She remains in her private habitat, Tango, we're talking about, while work is completed on her new home in the zoo. So they realized they fucked up, made a bad enclosure for the capybara, and are making a new one where they can escape, I guess. Capybaras are the world's largest rodents. They are herbivores and are not considered dangerous to people. In the wild, they have few natural predators in the UK, so it's thought the biggest risk to Samba is traffic. Marwell Wildlife is asking anyone who believes they may have seen Samba to take a photo and get in contact using the method listed on its website, which probably includes phone, text message. Please, if you have seen Samba or if you do spot her, please contact the Marwell Zoo at the 24/7 Samba hotline 07-436 167 401. Please send a photo with the location she was seen using either Google Maps or what 3 words. There's the information on their website for how to find her. Yeah, I think there's like a map here of where she might have been. So Marwell Zoo is kind of... Wow, they're saying that she could have... Oh, she walked really far. Or went really far. The 17th, she escaped the enclosure. So literally the day after she was put in Suffolk, they escaped. And then they saw her by a pub, which is like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 6 farm fields away. That's really far. 6 farm fields away, she went north. And then, like 2 kilometers? Went 2 kilometers in one day. And then on the 22nd, which would have been 4 days later, would have been, I want to say like 6 kilometers away by a farm, by the water, where the dog walker saw them. And that's the last time they really have a confirmed sighting, other than the one that they're talking about recently, which may or may not have been, it could have been a deer. And there's children making photos of the capybara, escaped capybara. Please come home, Samba. Tango is missing you. And it's a little crying capybara with a flower. Yeah, so everyone locally, this is a very local story, right? Everyone locally is very enticed by this missing capybara. But this is the first time I've heard it. This is the first time it's hit my international news waves, I guess. Escaped capybara.
Okay. That story is a little bit longer than you said it was. Huh?
Oh, I read 3 stories in order to increase the size, so you had time.
Oh, well, you didn't have to do all that. I had my limerick pretty quick.
Oh, okay.
Compared to... I wrote fast because I thought it was going to be short. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. All right.
No, so you're ready. You're free to go. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Let's do it. The limerick. In search of the elusive capybara, scientists and citizens search in hysteria. The rodent, which it is a large rodent, the rodent has disappeared in the clover, but it's not over till it's over, says the philosopher Yogi Berra.
Yogi Berra.
Yogi Berra, whose 101st birthday was yesterday, so we had to remember Yogi on his birthday. Yes, we did yesterday. We commemorated it yesterday. You probably don't remember when I mentioned his birthday yesterday, but he's 101 yesterday if he was around. He did live to be 90, though. Yogi Berra.
Like the voice actor for him? Or the actual bear? It's
Nothing to do with the cartoon. He's a baseball player.
Oh,
Nothing
that
to do with
guy.
the cartoon.
Right. Yes. Sorry, I was thinking of that. You did say that yesterday. You did say that yesterday.
Might have been named after him.
Yeah, I remember you talking about a baseball player, but I didn't remember the name. Okay, our next segue is Bad Pun for your
he's
story.
More of an icon than a baseball player. Yogi's more of an icon than a baseball player.
Yeah.
He's known for playing baseball for sure and being a manager and all that, but he's mostly known for saying shit.
Which influenced the character that is Yogi Bear.
And winning 10 World Series. Nobody else won more World Series than Yogi Berra. Or hit more home runs in a World Series than Yogi Berra. Think about that. So, wasn't a bum. He wasn't just some crappy player. All right. What's the...
Bad pun.
Bad pun for section 2. Lost my pen again. No, it don't stay lost for long. All right, a Taiwanese woman is arrested at airport with 30 Indian star tortoises. They must be expensive, right? I'm guessing. This is onlinecitizen.com. 19-year-old Taiwanese passenger was arrested in Savarnabhumi International Airport after officers discovered 30 Indian star tortoises taped to her body ahead of a flight to Taipei. Taped to her body. That's a funny way to travel. The 19-year-old Taiwanese woman was arrested at Bangkok's Suvarnabhumi International Airport. I still can't pronounce it. In the early hours of 28 April, after wildlife customs officers discovered 30 Indian star tortoises concealed to her body ahead. It's basically repeating the same information. The passenger has not been named, was intercepted at 5:25 a.m. Oh, yeah, that's when you want to travel, when everybody's just like, it's too early. I don't want to search passengers. And she was caught at the screening zone at the departure terminal's 5th floor. She was due to board Vietjet Air Flight VZ568 bound for Taipei. Krit Pansai, chief of the wildlife inspection station at this airport, said officers noticed suspicious movements around the woman's torso during a screening at Zone 3 east of the departure terminal. A detailed physical search followed. Officers found the tortoises had been wrapped with adhesive tape to restrict movement, placed individually in the cloth bags, and strapped across the woman's body. The concealment method appeared designed to minimize the animal's movement and evade X-ray detection equipment. Of the 30 Indian star tortoises, 29 were alive. One was found dead. The Indian star tortoise is listed under the Convention of International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora and commands significant value on the black market. Authorities said the species is among the most frequently trafficked reptiles in Asia. There's basically a lot of information. Let's see what happened to the poor turtles. She faces charges under a whole bunch of statutes that I'm not going to quote. If you want to quote them, go look them up yourself. Section 19 and the Penal Code, blah, 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 blah. You're not doing that. The 29 surviving tortoises were handed to the Wildlife Conservation Office for Emergency Care and Show and Tell. No, just kidding. Officials said the animals would also serve as a physical evidence of species identification in efforts to trace and dismantle the wider trafficking network believed to be behind the smuggling intent. Of course, she didn't do this on her own. Nobody sits down and tapes 30 turtles to her own body. She probably got paid to do it. Thai wildlife authorities have in recent years recorded a rise in body strapping cases at international airports, particularly involving reptiles designed for private collectors in East Asia. The Indian star tortoise, native to India, Sri Lanka, and parts of Pakistan, has seen sustained illegal demand due to its distinctive shell patterning. Humans are fucking weird. That's basically the story about this. Like, weird, just weird. I want to have that tortoise for reasons. I can't think of one, but I'll think of one later. No information has been released regarding the source of the tortoises or any other crap about this unfortunate story. Stop smuggling animals. Leave the animals alone. They're not there for your amusement. Here is your pun.
They're really rare on the black market, though. How are we going to make all that sick money? We can't be smuggling animals to sell on the black. Yeah, well, you know, sick as
Is that
in like.
fun? Oh.
Huh?
Okay.
No?
Working on it.
Let's
You're working on it.
celebrate that no
Oh,
tortoises
there
were
you go.
harmed in the smuggling.
But one was. One died.
Oh,
One died.
then let's not
Might have been
celebrate.
sick to start with, too. Might have been had a head cold to start with. You got it?
This entire
All right.
smuggling ring is
Is what?
unbelievable. I can't even say it. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Oh, gotcha. All right, next story. Not all animals are smuggled involuntarily. Sometimes they just stow away because, hey, it's warm here. This is nice. Hey, it's moving. Where are we going? And that's what happens. This is a story from UPI.com. Ben Hooper is the guy, the editor of that section of that UPI. Wildlife Wanderlust, he says. 5 stories of animal stowaways. Yes. So this is updating. It's all these animals getting smuggled. Let's have some. Of course, the coyote smuggled himself out to Alcatraz, and the capybara smuggled himself, right? To wherever he is, hiding in the clover. The summer travel season is nearly upon us, but some enterprising animals have managed to beat the rush and take their vacations early. Animals are well known to find themselves in places they shouldn't be, and often these places turn out to be cars, trucks, or ships getting ready for a long journey. This can lead to curious stowaways ending up hundreds or even thousands of miles away from home. Here are 5 stories of wildlife wanderlust. These are really quick, so it ain't gonna take that long. A raccoon stows away to Belarus in a shipped car. A raccoon took shelter in what might appear to have been a parked car and ended up traveling from the United States all the way to Belarus on a cargo ship in January. The customs authorities of Belarus found the raccoon napping on the dashboard of the car and took it into custody. The raccoon was given a new home at the zoo where it was introduced to a mate. All right, man. He's like, traveling man, I made all the stops. Right on. Way to go, raccoon. Hooking up in another country. Now that is really right. Now that's a ride to write about. Well, I fell asleep in the Buick and woke up in Belarus. Never heard of the place, but hey, they got raccoons there. Didn't know it. 3 baby rabbits. Another one. Here we go. 3 baby rabbits stowed away in an oil rig in Europe's North Sea. A trio of baby rabbits took shelter in a shipping container in Dundee, Scotland in April and wound up wandering the pipe deck on Ithaca Energy's Cygnus platform, about 93 miles off the coast of Lincolnshire, England. The bunnies were rounded up by workers and given a ride back to the shore. They were taken to Newark Wildlife Rescue for care. Bunnies. Scotland definitely does not have a shortage of bunnies. Oh, they're about to take it back to Scotland. They're missing one of their 8 billion bunnies from the landscape, you know. Oh my God, not a bunny. Oh Lord. Okay, it's not exactly an endangered species. A cat stows away in a 70-mile ride in a Walmart truck. There's another one. Employees at Walmart Logistics Warehouse in Cornwall, Ontario, found a cat inside the delivery truck that arrived from a Walmart store in Montreal, 70 miles away, in April. The cat's exact origins were unclear, so employees agreed to care for the cat until the owners can be found. Meanwhile, you got yourself a mouser for your warehouse. Congratulations. Opossum. A possum. Now, Ken, the creature in America, North America, is called the opossum. Although we shorten it to possum because that's what we do. I think the opossum is an Australian. They're both
It's a different actual animal, actually. The possum and the opossum are actually 2 different animals. Yeah.
Right. An opossum is Australian. Correct? And they're both marsupials, correct? Either way, an opossum, a creature common to the lower 48 states but considered invasive to Alaska, hitched a ride on a cargo ship in March and wound up at the state's capital, Juneau. The opossum, now named Meatball, was given a new home in the Juneau Zoo. All these guys ended up at the zoo, which had recently lost its beloved resident opossum, Grubby. Well, there's timing for you.
Grubby, no!
Our final one, a red fox, not the comedian, not the old comedian who was on Sanford and Son, not that red fox, but a red fox stows away on a cargo ship from England and the United States. A U.S. U.S. Customs and Border Protection officers discovered approximately 2-year-old male fox riding among the cargo on a ship that arrived in March at Port of New York in New Jersey. It's probably Elizabeth, New Jersey, is what we're thinking about here. The fox, which apparently had taken a ride in a ship all the way from Southampton to England, was taken to the Bronx Zoo, where it was found to be in good health. So all these animals just keep ending up at the zoo, except for the rabbits. Well, I guess they all just end up in care. So there's your story about the recent stowaways making their world travels, and maybe some of them will be made into a movie. And maybe we can come up with a title for these movies. Possums in Paradise. I don't know. Red Fox finds fantasies. I don't know, something like that. Any, I got a pun for this.
Where do they have to be alliterations?
Why not? Why not?
Oh, okay.
Only good headlines are alliteration headlines, if you want my opinion.
I mean, I know cats are very famous to doing this because they want to be the perfect traveler companion.
Oh.
What happens when a dog is a stowaway?
Why?
It's a rough passenger.
Oh. Homer can't breathe. Hold on. Puns aplenty. Puns aplenty. And I did send you a video related to Mr. Yogi Berra, in case you wanted to be more familiar with his
sayings. To go back to our previous story, why did the tortoise hide in the luggage? It wanted shelter from the storm.
Shelter. Oh, a shell dog. The shell company. Oh. Right on. This episode.
Our next segue is alliteration. For my culture news, we're going to talk about the lovely, well, maybe not lovely, the weirdness of throwing shit on stage. The rudeness of throwing shit on stage. Oh, my green screen messed. Probably when I got up. So this is on not Euronews Culture, The Guardian. British pop metalers frontman Ollie Sykes suffers a concussion after a phone strikes him on the head in the latest in spat of similar incidents faced by musicians. Yes, not actual poo. They're getting hit by hard objects that can give you a concussion. It's from Ben Bamo Thomas. Eric Clapton and Bring Me the Horizon's frontman Ollie Sykes have both been struck by objects thrown at them while performing, the later incident leaving Sykes with a concussion. As Bring Me the Horizon performed in St. Louis on Monday, which was... What was Monday? The 11th of May. A member of the audience threw a phone at Sykes, striking him on the head. Sykes continued to perform, but cut one of the songs from the band's set, as well as a fan interaction section. See, that's what I'm talking about. One person fucks stuff up, and now that part where I'm gonna, like, I don't know, crowd surf, removed from the show. He later wrote on social media, "The phone on the head definitely smarted, and I ended up with a mild concussion. But the swelling's gone down a decent amount already. I was struggling a bit on stage afterwards because singing was putting a lot of pressure on the wound and making things feel a bit disorienting while performing. So I'm sorry on my part for what may have seemed like a half-hearted performance. You don't have to apologize. Some asshole threw his phone at you." The person who should apologize is the person who threw the phone.
Look at it.
Yeah, maybe.
And then be put in prison.
Come get your phone so we can arrest you. Clapton, meanwhile, Eric Clapton, was performing in Madrid on the 7th of May when he was hit in the chest by a vinyl album in its sleeve. So it wasn't just the sleeve for the vinyl album, but the actual vinyl was in there too. Thrown by a member of the audience towards the end of his set. At least it was towards the end of the concert. He ended the concert without an expected encore, though it did not affect his next performance in Barcelona on the 10th of May. Sorry, I hate when they give dates, but then they don't give dates for the rest of the story. So I'm like, I don't know what day Sunday was, okay? That was 3 days ago, or 4 days ago. Other musicians have faced similar incidents in recent years. Throwing objects on stage has almost become routine, and not necessarily as a way to voice disapproval with a concert. Fans often attempt to give gifts or get stars to take photos with their phones. You know how you can get to do that? You go up to the front and you put it on the stage. Or like you hold your phone up and say, take a photo with me. You don't throw it at them. Toddlers in adult bodies. A major spat of such incidents occurs in 23. Pop star BB Rexa was left with a cut and swollen eye after a phone was thrown at her. While Harry Styles, Cardi B, Lady Gaga, Kelsea Ballerini, and Steve Lacy all face objects or drinks thrown at them. Oh yeah, I remember the drink one with Cardi B. She threw her microphone at someone. Somebody threw a drink at her, like their whole beer at her, and then she just threw her microphone right back, and then they arrested her for assault. It's like, So Cardi B is like,
Cardi B
she got arrested, I'm pretty sure, for assault. Yeah.
She should send her husband after, her boyfriend / husband or whatever was just acquitted of assault on his chef. He's a football player.
Ava Max endured a fan rushing on stage and slapping her, injuring her eye. Okay, well that's a bit different. That's actual battery. While Pink told a fan, I don't know how I feel about this after they threw a bag of ashes on stage, reportedly of their late mother. I mean, at least they didn't throw it at her. Hey, here's some ashes. And then she... that's a bit different. The bag on stage is weird, but they're not throwing it at her directly. That year, Billie Eilish complained, I've been getting hit on stage with things for like literally 6 years. It's absolutely infuriating when you're up there. But it's out of love and they're just trying to give you something. No, it's out of stupidity. Don't give them an excuse that it's out of love. That's not love. That's obsession. That's fanaticism.
How is that love?
Okay?
Please, I love you.
It's what it is attention seeking. I want to be special. I want this famous person to pay attention to me, so let me do something so outrageously rude.
Go up on the stage.
They'll look at me.
These idiots need to go up on the stage.
Attention.
You need to go up on the stage and realize that nobody on stage can see the people in the crowd. There's lights pointing in your face. You can't see those people. Anyway.
Those people should go on stage. Like, oh, you want to be... Yeah, come up here. Go ahead. I'll just be back here backstage. You can perform now.
You can't see it.
Yeah, exactly. She was hit again by an object at the concert of December 24, though she was able to continue. During Eilish's Las Vegas concert during Adele's Las Vegas concert residency in 23, she addressed the issue, telling the audience in a typically forthright manner because she's English, so she's not going to take shit. Have you noticed how people are like forgetting to show etiquette at the moment? People just throwing shit on stage. I fucking dare you. I dare you to throw something at me, I'll fucking kill you. That's exactly what all these people should... That's what you should say, Billie Eilish. You didn't say, oh, they just love me. No, you're crazy and you need to go somewhere else to do that shit. Not my fucking concert. Last year, 2 concerts by country star Zach Bryan were affected by objects being thrown at him. One of them striking his leg. Azealia Banks cut a German concert short after a cup was thrown at her. In November, Sabrina Carpenter had to hurl a pair of furry handcuffs off stage that were thrown at her during a song. In March, country singer Riley Green was hit on the head by a phone thrown from the audience, causing him to bleed, though he continued the Melbourne concert. Terrible. Do not throw your phones. I think if you get...
Idiots.
You know how...
First of all, your phone's traceable.
I think we should bring stoning back, and instead of stoning, we just throw our phones at people and say, wow, did you like that? Did you like getting hit by tens of thousands of phones?
Completely traceable. I don't even understand why would you incriminate yourself like that.
This shit happened to BTS too, by the way. And I don't remember who it was. It might have been like V or Jungkook or something. But one of them like looked at the person who threw the thing, and he had like the most disappointing dad look on his face. He did like the no, you don't do that here. What the fuck is your problem? And that person was probably like, he paid attention to me, and that's all the thought. And I'm sorry that your lives are so empty that the only thing you have for you going for you is your fanaticism. And being rude as fuck to people who you already paid money to see. A lot of people paid money to see these people. And that's why they're forced to continue their concert after being insulted. Eric Clapton, of course, doesn't. Eric Clapton is 200, so he's like, I've done this shit for a long time. I have plenty of money.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. You guys can hate me if you want. Not my problem.
Yeah, like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm leaving. Bye. I got better things to do than perform for a bunch of shit bags. Thank you.
Well, I wouldn't even say a bunch, right? Just one shit bag. Technically, right? He got one record was thrown at him, and he was like, "Bye, I'm out." Some of these people, multiple things are being thrown at them, and they stay on stage, and they should not be doing that.
I heard Roger Waters one time spit on a fan, right? Pink Floyd bass player, songwriter, once spit on a fan, right? And he wrote a whole freaking side of an album about that, and he still isn't over it. And that fan was probably cruel to him, but all he did was spit on the guy, right? And he still is like, he wrote that song In the Flesh, the second part of In the Flesh, where he's insulting all the fans. That's about that spitting incident. That's what that really was. So that's a non sequitur. The headline, though, don't ever see it from the person on the stage's point of view. You should see that from their point of view. They got bright lights pointing at them, and they can't see you. They're basically at your mercy, and you're a scumbag, and you probably should put in prison for like 20 years for that. That's the worst form of human behavior. Taking somebody defenseless like that. I'm talking to you, Will Smith, if you're out there. Anyway, leave people on stage alone. It's a performance. You're not part of it. Our headline should read, "Scumbags sling smartphones at Sykes and something at Slowhand." Because Eric Clapton's nickname is Slowhand. It's an ironic nickname because he does not play slow. Anyway.
That's pretty clever, because all these Sykes, and very good, very good. I'm very pleased. This pleases me. Okay, that's my only story,
that was
of course, on our culture section. So let's do our next segue for this day in history. Did you send me a video, by the way?
Yes, I did. Maybe they slung the Slowhand album at him. Maybe that's poetic justice or something. I don't know.
I will tell you a joke about something in this, maybe 3 jokes even, about this day in history.
This day in history. Hitler annexes Sudetenland. No, just kidding. You have a joke. I get to see the top of my head. All right. Tensions up, going all the way back to 1846. Tensions between Mexico and the United States led Congress to approve a declaration of war against Mexico. Oh, yeah, whatever. Stemming from the annexation of the Texas by the United States in 1845. Whatever. We can give Texas back. I wouldn't have a problem with that. 1871, with the law of guarantees, the Italian government attempted to settle the question of his relationship with the Pope, who had been deprived of his lands during the unification of Italy. Well, that wasn't nice. 1917, 3 children. Here we go. 3 children, Lucia dos Santos, her cousins Francisco and Jacinto Marto, reported seeing the Virgin Mary near Fatima, Portugal. And of course, they were obviously inhaling some kind of invisible gas and hallucinating. Okay. Yeah. And of course, all the devout believers, you can't be a devout believer unless you believe in this stuff with all your devoutness. So they all went crazy. Oh, it's got to be real. It can't possibly be a hoax. Because hoaxes aren't a thing. I don't know. Anyway, 1940, Winston Churchill faced the House of Commons for the first time as Prime Minister and told the members of that, "I have nothing to offer but blood, toil, tears, and sweat." And Parliament said, "You got any more? Nothing? That's all you got, huh? You got any cash? No cash?" Anyway, Winston Churchill is always making those kinds of speeches. He was very, let's say, what's the word for somebody that can really talk? Very articulate at making his point. You know, he wouldn't.
There's a better word for that, but I can't think of what it is.
You think of it. 1941, Richie Valens was born.
An orator.
Richie Valens only made the 17. He was born in 1941. He died in 1959 in February in a plane crash near Storm Lake, Iowa, with Buddy Holly and the Big Bopper and the 2 pilots. Or I might have even been 1 pilot. Richie Valens. It's his birthday. He was born in Pacoima, California, which is out there in the valley. San Fernando Valley, as if you don't know what that means. 1950, Stevie Wonder, a child prodigy, developed into one of the most creative musical fingers of the 20th century. Happy birthday. It's Stevie Wonder's birthday. Stevie Wonder. And he was only 9 years old, or 8 years old when the crash happened, so he wasn't famous yet. Stevie Wonder, although he was quite famous, he got famous the same year as the Beatles did. So he was 16. Wait, let's see. 1950, he was 13 or 14 when he got famous. Blind multi-instrumentalist, not just a keyboard player. He started as a drummer. And again, his first hit song, and a harmonica player, don't forget that. And his first hit was called Fingertips, and it featured the harmonica. 1960, Swiss expedition led by Max Aislinn reached the summit of Dhaulagiri in the Himalayas. And happy birthday to Stephen Colbert, who's going to be off the air in a couple of weeks. He was born this day in 1964. Happy 62. You're old enough to collect Social Security. That worked out for him. No, it didn't work out for me. Would have been nice. They just said, hey, here's some severance pay. Now you can select those. Oh, they waited. They did. They jumped the gun. They said, here's your severance pay. Bye. Good luck. You're not 62 yet. You're 61. And not quite a half.
We held on to you a little longer. But we did it because we're assholes. Yeah.
Right. It just totally upended my life in order. Just for their selfish little corporate reasons. 1981, Pope John Paul II survived an assassination attempt at St. Peter's Square for Basilica, and he was shot and seriously wounded. He survived the same year that Reagan was shot. It was Shoot Famous People Day. Think about this. In December, John Lennon was shot in 1980. Later in 1981, the Pope and Reagan were both shot. So it was like, it's time to start shooting just famous people at that time of day. It was like my senior year in high school. I was like, I don't want to go out into this world. 1985, years of conflict between the Black Liberation Move and Philadelphia police culminated in a day-long standoff. Then the police dropped a bomb.
Not this shit again.
The cop dropped a bomb.
Never forget. Yeah, never forget.
11 people died.
Helicopter.
250 people in the neighborhood were left homeless. But again, who cares? They're poor. Let's drop a bomb in their neighborhood. Again, how is this even legal? How is it even legal? How is it even legal? How is that even legal? In 1985, how is that legal? 2019, American singer and actress Doris Day died at the age of 93. She made a lot of those, they call it romantic comedies with Rock Hudson. And she made a bunch of them with James Garner, too. So Doris made it to 93. His performances, movie musicals, and romantic sex comedies in the 1960s made her a leading Hollywood star. She was also the girl singer for a band. I think it was Tommy Dorsey or somebody. She could sing too. Doris Day, great name, Doris Day. 2025, shoeless Joe Jackson and Pete Rose, two players have been banned for life from Major League Baseball following accusations involving gambling in the sport, were posthumously reinstated by MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred, who is a coward. He is a stinking, low-level coward. And he did it just to please Trump. That's the only reason he did it. That's why I say he's a coward. He did it to please Trump. By the way, I'm in favor of Joe Jackson getting him back in the Hall of Fame. He's been dead for a long damn time, right? There's no proof that he threw the game in the World Series because he hit, I think, 300 in the World Series. Pete Rose, however, is a scumbag. And forget the gambling. He was dating a 15-year-old girl started dating her when she was 15. Anyway, so yeah. Pete Rose is a scumbag. Let's just get that out of the way. I will not defend his right to be anything but a scumbag. Pete Rose is a scumbag, plain and simple. He bet on baseball. He got suspended for that. He should stay suspended for that. He continued to bet on baseball even after they caught him. So why are we Why do we give a shit about Pete Rose at all? Because he can hit a baseball? He can't even hit a baseball hard. All he ever hit was singles. He's a singles hitter. That's it. What? The most home runs he ever hit was like 12. Ugh. Pete Rose, overrated hack. Just an overrated hack. And a scumbag. So, the hell with Pete Rose. 1637, the table knife is introduced. By the way, Pete Rose is dead, so he's not going in a Hall of Fame. Not alive, he's not. So, bye, Pete. Whatever. I never really liked the guy. Even when he was playing, I know he was a scumbag. I didn't like him. The table knife is introduced in this day in 1637. Table knife. Did you know there was somebody had to invent a table knife? I don't even know what a table knife is. Is it the same as a butter knife? According to tradition, Cardinal Richelieu introduced the table knife to the world. Hey, world, there's a knife. As a powerful minister who was unpopular with everyone, but the King Richelieu, the king in 1637. Which king are we talking about? I like how they don't even tell you what king. Anyway.
Who was the king in 1637?
Charles I
was French.
King, but it doesn't say what country. It was Charles I. Richelieu had plenty of reasons to provide the dining companions with knives that they couldn't use to pick their teeth. Ooh, that's disgusting. Or stab each other. He ordered his staff to grind the edges of the tops of the knives around them. The result was known as a table knife. Okay. Richelieu was France.
Louis
so the king was probably
13th.
Louis the whatever. Louis the 13th. There it was a Louis. I know that. It had to be a Louis. No creativity in the French.
I don't even need to look this up because I know for a fact that I looked it up a long time ago. Whose fault is it for silverware? Why the hell do we use silverware? And they're like, France is the first one who started using silverware. So like, fuck you, France, for making us use silverware where we have perfectly usable hands. I'm just saying. I hate silverware. I love using my hands to eat, okay? Call me a savage or barbarian or whatever the hell you want to call me. I love using my hands to eat. Yeah. Fuck silverware.
Right. I'm going to melt all the silver plating off the silverware that I have, right? Just melt the silver
That's the only use I have.
It's not really silver. Silverware in America, at least, is not silver. It's stainless steel.
No.
We should call it stainless steelware. Well, they made things out of silver because it's easy.
Steal my sanity, more like. There's your free joke for my segment.
Right on. Our feature biography is Georges Braque, French artist. He was born in 1882 in his day. He died August 31st, 1963 at the age of 81 in Paris. He was born in Argenteuil, France, in case you cared. Other birthdays today. Let's get to that part of it. Other birthdays today. Harvey Keitel. I think he's still around. Harvey Keitel's in a lot of, I would say, offbeat movies, including Taxi Driver, where he plays the pimp that Robert De Niro shoots. He plays Jodie Foster's pimp.
You're talking to me?
Harvey Keitel today, born in 1939. Harvey Keitel, he's in a lot of Pulp Fiction. He's in a lot of these movies. He don't mind playing a scumbag. The bad lieutenant he's in. He's terrible in that one. Harvey Keitel. So he's born 1939. That makes him 87 today. Stevie Wonder we covered. Who else's birthday today? It is Dennis Rodman, freak show and basketball player, American basketball player, born 1961. And we already covered Stephen Colbert. Lena Dunham, American actress, writer, director, and producer, born 1986, turning 40 years old. You are now officially 40, Lena. How does that feel? It feels like being 40. It feels like being 39. That's about what it feels like, right? And our national days today, as I clicked on the wrong thing. National Day, National Fruit Cocktail Day. Yum, yum, yum. Fruit cocktail. If you're making that thing, ambrosia, that's always a good thing to throw in there. It's National Week this week. It's National Volunteer Host Family Week. Did you know that? Just in case you didn't know. Volunteer Host Family Week. Okay, if you got a volunteer and you're hosting them, I guess. Children of Fallen Patriots
No,
Day.
that's not what that means. It means you like
You're
host a foreigner in your house, you know, like to live with you and like teach them your culture, and maybe they
you can host
family. Volunteering to host like a student or just a young person who wants to see the world and experience different culture.
Yes, and it's also Children of Fallen Patriots Day. It's National Crouton Day, those tiny little bits of seasoned hardened bread that crunch inside your salad. A lot of people hate them. I know a lot of people hate them. They just take them right off. National Frog Jumping Day. The frog jumps on your salad. You want to take that off too. National Apple Pie Day. National Receptionist Day. Person that greets you at the front and answers the phone takes your shit. National Third Shift Workers Day. So it's all those things. So that's everything for today. Limericks, puns, jokes, whatnot. For Wednesday, May 13th, on before let's see, fruit cocktail, croutons, and apple pie. That's
apple pie.
Fruit cocktail
Sugar,
and apple pie in the
diabetes,
same day.
here I come. All right,
yeah,
I've got 3 jokes for you.
Help. Croutons are just soaking up that salad dressing. That's all they do. They soak up the salad dressing. That's what croutons do. They're little sponges for the salad dressing.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Anyways, first joke. What's the difference between someone going to prison and a guy who has a mobile knife sharpening business?
No idea.
One gets incarcerated, the other one is incarcerated. There's your knife joke. CBS. Oh, this is a joke. This is a joke I'm stealing from Colbert because, you know, he told a lot of jokes on his show. CBS has been #1 for 11 years. Do you know what that means? It means a lot of old people don't realize the TV in the basement has been on for over a decade. There you go. As they deserve. And my final joke. Why did the receptionist become a gardener?
I don't know.
Because they knew how to greet every plant with a warm welcome. They always get those surprise, you know, they're not really there to be a customer. They're just there to make sure, hey, I'm here to make sure you're, what is it called? A surprise shopper or whatever. I'm just here to make sure your business is really friendly so I can tell the CEO, hey, your receptionists are doing a good job. Oh, you're not here for real business. You're just here to test me. I see right through your plan.
Colbert's birthday tomorrow.
All right, it's an international observance today. Let's check that out. I have so many different.
Volunteer week.
No, there are no international UN observances today. So I guess continue celebrating plant health. Which is, you know, making sure locusts don't eat all your plants, and don't use pesticides. Don't use pesticides. Those are bad. There's other ways for plant health that isn't poisoning you and others. And this has been Alton here from the Netherlands, Roger from the East Coast of the US, as we tie up another Wacky and Weird Wednesday. We've made it through halfway through the week. Happy Hump Day, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow for Thursday's 13, in which we'll have 13 things on the list to argue about on stream. So make sure you're here by following us on Twitch, following us on YouTube, same name, Before Coffee Podcast, and turning on those notifications so you know when we go live and post a video. Thank you to everyone who's already supporting us and making that number go up, and the Before Coffee supporters on Patreon. Let's go ahead and move on to our mic drop moment.
When baseball fans hear the name Yogi Berra, most of them will think about the legendary player who helped the New York Yankees win 10 World Series titles. Yogi also won another 3 as a coach. However, his name also brings about some great quotes he came up with during his amazing
classic baseball background music.
Life. They're commonly called yogiisms, and today I'd like to introduce
it's because they have that nice echo in the background.
They're in no
because
particular
the mic
order,
in the studio
except for
somewhere.
the fact that I thoroughly enjoy them all. They might seem illogical
Interesting way to pronounce
sometimes,
that word.
but a lot of them make a whole bunch of sense, and they're obviously pretty funny. My first pick is It Ain't Over Till It's Over.
It ain't over till the
most
fat
famous
lady
one.
sings. You just said things. You didn't know the saying.
Yogi also famously said,
You
it's
died when
like
you were killed.
deja vu all over
Like
again.
deja vu all over again.
That's exactly what deja vu is.
Who can forget? No one goes there nowadays. It's too crowded.
That makes perfect sense. You think about it. I'm not going there. I'll never get seated, right? Yeah.
It's like...
Another of my favorites
if no one's
is
there, it's not crowded,
baseball is 90% mental and the other half is
there you
physical.
go. That's something to think about.
The other 90 half. What's half of 90? 40. 40
Let's
45.
not forget this classic. Always go to other people's funerals. Otherwise, they won't come to yours.
Yep. Think about it.
I don't know how that works. Did he mean birthday parties?
When you're not so hungry.
No, he meant funerals.
You can think of this famous quote by Yogi. He said, "You better cut the pizza in 4 pieces because I'm not hungry enough to eat
sure he
6.
said that one. Some of these
That's
are
the
dubious.
same amount of
said.
pizza, buddy. That's the same amount of pizza, no matter how many
I'm
pieces.
not that hungry. I can only eat 4.
Slump? I ain't in no slump. I just
That's
ain't
right.
hitting.
I'm not in a slump. That sounds like something he said when he was still a player.
That sounds like something he just said to like get somebody out of their face. Like, stop interviewing
the future
me.
ain't what it used to be.
The future ain't what it used to be. That's true. Definitely isn't.
It can't be used to anything.
Barrow once said, if the people don't want to come to the ballpark, nobody's going to stop
them.
them.
Think about that one. People don't want to come to the ball.
What? That's so crazy. He must have. He's
And finally,
drunk.
Yogi said, you've got to be very careful if you don't know where you're going, because you might not get there.
That's a good point. You gotta be careful.
Don't get lost, everyone. Don't get lost.
You don't know where you're going. There's no way.
Another video of
Yogiisms
Yogiisms in the not so distant
This guy just like have a whole series on Yogiisms.
Please subscribe and come again to my channel for more.
If you want to watch a
vintage
documentary on Yogi,
baseball
there's a great
players.
one. It's by his daughter.
Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons, and follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.